Okay, so this video is mainly just a little bit about podcasts. Now, Lonely Tree Entertainment's got a lot of content on the channel. Reviews, VHS unboxings, bands, podcasts. And Better Than FA has been around for nearly 25 years. So you never really know what the next video is going to be on the channel. It could be something from the past that I don't even remember. It could be something new. It could be something like the Thing vinyl, an unboxing. It could be Blade Runner. You never know what I'm just going to pick up and have a rant about, especially going forward from this. So we're in June now, so anyway. A couple of years ago, podcasts began on the channel, and first they were more like just what branching out now is, but film podcasts have become a big part of the channel, and they're loved and they're fucking hated. You know, it's great to get some great feedback off people, but then the amount of people that just go, fuck you, I thought I was getting a free fucking film. The best one ever is the guy who told me to go and hang myself from that lonely tree. I was like, wow. And my reply was, I'm just going to leave this comment on here just so the whole world can see how nice a person you are now. I personally don't think I'm better than anybody. I absolutely adore movies. I've worked in movies. I'm not trying to be a critic. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I don't dislike anyone. Do you know what I mean? I don't hate anyone. So when I sit down and I do a podcast, you're getting a natural, talk about, and I like to share my passion. I don't just pick up random fucking movies and go, let's grab some fucking movies. I can get in there. Yeah, I've got 4. So I've got Hobo with a Shotgun. I've got Homefront, Horrible Bosses, and Hostels. Didn't finish that. Brutal start though. I'm not gonna I want to pick up a podcast and do my research. Now, originally, I think the podcast, which came along in the era of laserdiscs. Laserdiscs are outreach. I can't reach laserdiscs, but laserdisc came along, and laserdisc gives us trailers, commentaries, mini documentaries, and stuff like that. And again, it was like, oh wow, because what we used to just get was a fucking VHS. I mean, check out this Transformers here. That's it. Me, the red on the back of that. So that's all you used to get. And then you used to get some special ones, which will be special features. The trailer. There you go. Bad Boys includes a music video. Shy Guy. I don't want no shy guy. Bad Boys. Signed. Bad Boys. Bad Boys. Now, if you know who signed that, that's a trick. Check out the channel. Right. Okay. So anyway, off that run. I'm a massive film fan, and when DVDs, the discovery of more comedy tracks and stuff like that, and especially all the comedies, I absolutely adore. Kurt Russell, John Carpenter, sitting talking about The Thing, Big Trouble in Little China, John McTiernan, not remembering Predator, but he talks about Predator. Red Hill commentary, really good. Blair Witch 2 Shadows film's very, very what the fuck, but the commentary's amazing because the guy's fuck. It's like almost no one checked that commentary track before they put it out. It's like no one fucking listened to his commentary and they just submitted it. Terminator 2 Disappointment. It's like 22 fucking people talking on that commentary track. Last 2 nights I've absorbed Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, Kevin Costner and Kevin Reynolds doing a commentary, which they notoriously fell out over Waterworld years later, but again they come back, they sort of reflect, and it's pretty cool. Not a big fan of commentaries where the film hasn't even come out yet in any form. It's just like, oh yeah, I wonder what this film's going to be like in the weekend. And everyone always says in a commentary track when you listen to them, oh yeah, I hope I'm not spoiling this for anybody. Nearly 50% of the creators always go, I hope you're not watching this commentary track before watching the film. And I always used to love just watching movies, go to bed anytime, and then now it's kind of like sometimes you get home from work and it's 10 o'clock, and by the time you get to bed it's 12 o'clock, and then you got to be back up at 6 to go back to work, and it's just like, I just need to shut off, I don't want to pay attention to the movie, and so you start to rediscover a lot of your older films, and again absorbing the tracks. Now again, we're making new content for the channel and going forward. When I got out of contract 4 or 5 years ago, when I could start going, look at this, I love this fucking movie, I'm a massive fucking Godzilla fan, I fucking love the Burbs. Check out the movie Room Rant. I got a little depth for that. Me and Jack were like, right, I used to love watching films with Jack. I mean, the amount of times me and Jack have watched sort of I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, which I've got actually on. Funny enough, I almost just picked that up in the alphabet. had to buy it on Blu-ray. Jack wore it out. Or Shark Attack 3. Fuck me. The amount of times me and Jack used to sit there and just laugh at Shark Attack 3 from start to finish. And we used to even love, like, say for example someone else was kicking it with us that day and just hanging out and just watching Shark Attack 3 and the special effects. And I even remember when I was working in Bulgaria and we were in this massive money room and I was sitting there and I was looking at these people and I said, I recognise that guy. And like we had like about 25 people around this table. I had Liam Cunningham at the end. I had his assistants just going around, but then we had all these big money players taking bets, and like 5 of them have speaking roles. And there's one guy sitting there, I recognise him. And then I was getting bugged us because again, I was at 2007, didn't really have access to like your phone to go IMDb. Where the fuck's he from? And then the next day I remember sitting in the trailer and popped out, and this other guy was standing there asking, the fuck do I know him from? And it's a guy who plays, I mean, I'm not going to try and pronounce the names because I just fucking butcher them. Actually, where the fuck is my phone's on charging room. Anyway, long story short, I had to instantly ring Jack and I was like, Jack, you never guess what? And like, I was able to like send a picture through email. And Jack was like, no fucking way. Like, it's the 2 bad guys from Shark Attack 3 are now working in a film with me, and I couldn't keep a straight face. And then one time the guy was sitting and he said, what's the matter? He said, aren't you in Shark Attack 3? And he just looked at us and went, oh no. He said, what happened? He said, well, I was told that they're going to be really good special effects and that. He said, just, if you've never seen the movie, like, they just jump out the ship and they just shrink like fucking Honey, I Shrunk the Kids and just been zapped into like just a real life fucking clip of a shark over a boat. It's like, and disappearing at the mouse. It's amazing. But again, me and Jack used to love just watching films like that back in the day and laughing our heads off, and it was always cool when you used to get a comedy. And again, going forward with like now expressing myself about my love for my films and stuff like that, it was like, right, we started to do the fast forward reviews, and me and Jack did the alternative series, and me personally at the time going through a bit of a bad patch. I'd separated, I was living alone, was reading a lot, didn't have a telly up in the bedroom at that time because again, compromises you make when you're in a long-term relationship. But I had my tablet and started listening to Kevin Smith's podcasts about Batman. Found them really interesting. Got into them, and then one started automatically playing for Wolverine, with Duncan Casey, Richard Jackson and Oliver Harper. And before you ask, I have no idea what happened with them 3 guys. But Duncan's a real cool cat. He's been in some great movies recently, popping up and stuff like Accident Man. Always good for tweeting stuff. Richard Jackson went on to be actually in Alternative 3 with me and Jack, which is really cool. Oliver's went on to do some great stuff. He's got really good reviews, but worked a few times just collaborating with Oliver about Tremors, because I had this massive rant about Tremors and fucking the blue box and the orange box, the 25th anniversary. I was like, what the fuck, man? It's just like, what the fuck? So anyway, caught up a few of their commentaries and quite liked them, and expressed interest to Jack about like, oh, it'd be pretty cool if we're just going to hang out, you know, like walk up, have a few beers, we'll watch a few movies, we'll record it, and just something different for the channel. And Jack was like, yeah. And at the time we were doing fast forward reviews and we're doing them from a magazine and stuff. And fucking hell, man, like, I've never known somebody to sell his house as fast as Jack did. Not the idea that, oh shit, we're doing podcasts. But Jack had seen this lovely house up at Allensdale, and then he put his house up for sale, which wasn't, you know, it's in walking distance from my house, and bang, it went like that. And next thing you know, I'm literally in Jack's garage trying to help Jack move this stuff, you know, moving stuff around. And then again, if you look at fast forward reviews season 2, stuff like The Stand, I fucking hate you for making me watch that, Jack, and stuff like Steaks on a Plane, stuff like that. Obviously Jack had all these DVDs and he just gave us them, and obviously they ended up being reviewed for the show for season 2. So Jack lives at Lansdale. It's about 40-50 minute drive depending on the weather. Sycamore Gap is in between mine and Jack's house. It's a hell of a drive. So like we got 2 podcasts recorded before Jack moved. So we did Predator and Predator 2, and I really enjoyed them. Again, it's just two people actually sitting here and we're just watching on the screen, learning curving lessons, you know, the audio and track like that. And I was like, right, okay, you know, and like, I mean, I might revisit Predator. I might revisit Predator as well, but we were thinking about it, and Jack moved, and then it took a while to get Predators done. So again, we got around to doing it, got it recorded, got it mastered, got it uploaded, and sort of, alright, cool. But then obviously, Jack living miles away, Jack's now got 3 amazing kids, which I adore going up and helping play, like build fucking Ghostbusters Playmobiles and stuff like that, you know. That's that era, you know. And like Jack has reappeared on a few of the podcasts later down, like Ghost Shark and stuff. So Jack's always still game for stuff. Again, it's just there's nowhere we can fucking plan to like for him to be here at this time to do an hour and a half to 2 hour podcast for them drive 50 minutes home. So again, it was kind of like shit. Fast forward reviews. So we wrapped fast forward review season 3 up pretty sharp and got that done and dusted. Bonkers episodes by then. We kept it clean for the first 2 series, and then the F-bombs were just coming left, right and centre in the 3rd series, and they're all fucking epic. And the magazine was really cool and supportive, but that was done. But then podcasts, I was like, right, look, I really enjoy this, and like, can I do this alone? And one night, I would like, there's films on my shelf, and I was like, right, don't buy anything more, just get this watched. And I watched Jean-Claude Van Damme's Derailed. Been sitting up on that shelf for absolutely ages. I put it on and I was like, again, had to be up early for work, and I was just like, what am I watching? Like, seriously, I'm a bit like, what's going on? What the fuck? And like, I mean, looking back now, I mean, while I've been in lockdown, I've watched 50 fucking Van Damme films, and I've revisited Derailed again, and I'm still like, what the fuck? But the next day I got up and I went, you know what, bang, camera up, fucking film on, did the podcast solo. Yeah, okay, I went alright. Chucked it out there, got quite good traffic. And then like stuff like Event Horizon, picked it up on Blu-ray, and that's got a fucking amazing documentary about the fucking film. And I've absorbed all that. And then I just stuck the film on, boof. And that's how it started. And literally I just started doing them on my own again. I do a lot of stuff for other people. I do stuff for me. I flip around for productions. But like, if I get a chance to just sit down and watch a movie and like record a commentary, more or less what I'll be doing now. But I'm looking at the camera, you know, and just like watching a movie. And I'm learning again. Like I'm like finding shots interesting. I'm looking at the whys. But then yes, I am criticising. I'm like, going, fuck me, that looks terrible. Oh fuck me, why did they do that? And I do try to watch the film beforehand and take any extra content in. The problem is, I put them on the internet and people think that they're going to watch a free fucking movie. Bing, dislike, bing, harsh comment, bing. And I'm like, you know what? I live my life by it's better than fuck all. I enjoy what I do. No one's ever going to change that, no matter how harsh your fucking comments are. I am just generally finding a bit peace of mind in my life now. Finally being able to do stuff like this, and I enjoy doing them. And some of them have got ridiculous amounts of views. I mean, I'm a big fan of the 2 Coreys, so I tend to look at a lot of rarer stuff. I stick with the 80s, but then like movies like Ghost Rider, it's just something like 50,000 views, and you think, fucking hell, man. And then everyone's like, well, you do Ghost Rider 2, and I'm like, no, I don't want to suffer through that again. Oh, like Anaconda, you know, like I did Anaconda, and everyone's going, you doing Anacondas? And I'm like, oh, so I caved a few weeks ago and did Anacondas. But you know, like not having Jack on the doorstep to help us like be a guest, and when you're doing a comedy, you're bouncing off someone and you can interact. And again, it was getting a bit like, right, I like doing the commentaries, but it got to the point where I hadn't done one for months. And then I was like, shit, I better get a couple of these done. I did like Speed 1 and 2 together and stuff. And then the Tremors series, for example, I did 2 Tremors before New Zealand and 4 Tremors after it, you know. And I always worry about like trying to keep them in order. When anyone listening to it's going to listen to whatever they want, they might not even listen to one in the middle. So I try to not like, if I'm doing them on my own, I try to explain which one came before and which one came after, and then I try to fill the voids with just rants and curse. All you do is fucking mumble and fucking rant and curse. Yeah, but again, it's a lot to do when you're just sitting there and just going, you know, you literally, it's conveyor belt coming off there and it's coming in here and fucking shit is just constantly coming out of here. Again, I like doing them. And that's why people subscribe to the channel and people want more of them. So that's why I've kept on doing them. Now, with lockdown, And times have changed. A lot of my friends have gone through a lot of life-changing things in lockdown. There's a lot of things changed for people all over, but obviously it's been great for the sort of just sporadic knowledge of just video sharing, communication and stuff. And Paul Ray is someone I've briefly worked with I've worked with the guy for nearly 10 years now, but when it comes to videos and stuff like that, I've always loved and had all the time in the world for Paul Ray being on camera. The Goonies tribute, love it to bits. And me and Paul had talked a long time about doing podcasts, but Paul doesn't fucking drive. And again, Paul probably lives a little bit shorter away from Jack, so Paul lives up by Whitley Bay or something like that, really up on the coast. But considering the traffic and shit, it'll take fucking longer to get to his than Jack's. And Paul doesn't drive. I see Paul every day at work, but it's getting to the meeting in the middle. So we had talked about it, and we had talked about the fact that doing a podcast for the free Ghostbusters movies. And I said, well, let's try it over WhatsApp. We'll get the camera, we'll get the phone linked to the camera, we'll get it all set up this sound, we'll just get a really good feed and see how it comes out. And the first podcast went really well, and I was like, right, that's really cool. And Paul is amazing at facts, figures, and he's really funny, Paul. He always gets his cues right. Can give as good as he gets as well, which is really cool. And that was cool. We did the three Ghostbusters, and Carl had showed interest, and Carl is somebody as well who's also been in the videos. We call him Lubo Carl because he is the size of Lubo, and he's got ginger hair, but he's a lovely lad. He's a lovely lad, and Carl was concerned at first because Carl's deaf. Well, yeah, again, he wears hearing aids. Or again, if you listen to the commentaries, when Paul Ray mishears Carl, because Paul knows Carl from passing through work, but doesn't really know him, or he's really got to know him. But the one where Paul thinks Carl's got AIDS because he doesn't hear hearing, Paul just goes, "Have you got AIDS?" And it's just fuck, you can never predict a fucking podcast. But the idea of bringing Carl in is well in sort of right, going forward, so I can do a podcast with Paul, I can do a podcast with Carl, and then I can do a podcast with the three of us. And it's just been a snowball. I've also been doing branching out, which is obviously I did the one with Matt, Mitch, Cav, Kuba, and then we did the Better FA one. We're going to do Chris Stewart next, Dan Kelly and Greece. So we've got a few more branching outs planned, but podcast wise, I think we've been doing them where Carl have done stuff like Total Recall and some Steven Seagal, Under Siege 1 and Under Siege 2, and Carl's got a massive film knowledge. It's really great to bounce off. The age bracket's quite diverse between us. So Carl's a couple of years younger than me, Paul's a couple of years older than me, Carl's younger. So again, it bounces off the theme. Again, Paul Ray. We did Groundhog's Day, jumped in. Brit's even been getting involved in a few, but normally me and Brit being separated in lockdown, when she's back living with me, Brit will probably be on every other podcast. And she'll be like, really? Eee! I'm like, will you? But yeah, no, again, trying to bring Brittany in the podcast and getting her to build her personality, but it really caught on fire with Carl and Paul, because we did Tango and Cash, which at this moment that's the only one released, except for, so I'm going to have Turtles 2, Turtles 3, did them, we did Groundhog Day, and then we did Them Damn Sea Vampires, and then we've done all 7 police academies, and they're all done now, sitting here talking to you guys about it, but I don't know when they'll be out, and I don't know when this will be out, but bringing in them guys and just even revisiting podcasts I've already done. Again, I just thought I'll sit down here and just say, look, I love doing them. I'm not going to stop doing them. The love, the hate. Obviously, people click on them, think they must, I thought this was a full movie. It says commentary podcast in the title. Hashtag podcast, hashtag commentary. I am planning on going through the catalogue and changing the artwork and branding them all differently, but again, I'm just finding the time, multitasking and stuff like that. So yeah, just to rant about podcasts. As I say, normally if I've done a podcast and you like it, normally you know that it's probably other content or there'll be some love there, but again, it's just next couple of commentaries could be on there. Idle Hands are sitting down there. We've got House of Wax. We've got Squeaky Chair Syndrome. Drop Dead Fred. We're talking Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I have Brittany got us a brand new chair, and I've literally sprayed the fuck out of this with WD-40, and it's still creaking. Even keep the Allen keys separate just to keep. Right, hang on, wait a minute. Just give it a good. So yeah, normally on the podcast, you got to feel my pain because I'll be sitting on one of them wrestling chairs, you see. Right, rant over. See you in the outtakes. Here in the outtakes, don't know, how do you follow that up? It wasn't going anywhere to start with. It's just a video about podcasts and just, you know, mini update. Clusterfuck. Aye. Channel's pretty fucking mental for when it comes to content. It's like someone subscribes to the podcast and just like, well, watch this video. What the fuck is that? Or some people are like, what the fuck is that? I like that. Click, and then so all you're doing is talking. Declick. You can't win. Going back to like just to talk about the reviews. I remember someone saying, have you not heard of editing? Like, your video's too long. I was like, I know what editing is. I know what fucking VHS editing is. And then you do some like fast forward reviews where you sort of write it and then you sort of like plan it out, and you can move and then you can curse, but you can take double takes on stuff, and then you can have weird cameos and shit. And then someone's like, your editing is exhausting, you edit too much. I'm like, are you the same person? I'm like, I just can't win. You know what I mean? But the most important thing you've got to remember is just be yourself, because that's exactly what I do and that's exactly who I am. So yeah, that's an outtake for me. Thanks for watching, not listening. There's a podcast there. Goodbye for now.
And now